Well guys, we are back at it again. So I still have my big old stain right here. Haven't had a chance to clean it up yet. So if any of you know that I think it's through Fish Arcs, that big huge board that I used with the rotary cutter, I sat down last night and cut up a bunch of cardboard that was sent to me from my mom, and all the ladies in our quilting guild have started saving it for me, and some of my other friends have started saving me cardboard too. Not the box, like shipping box style cardboard, but the actual like cereal box, soda box, beer box style cardboard. And we're going to do a small tutorial today on how to design this cover. I will not be covering it. I do have a couple of courses on my YouTube on how to cover a journal. If you want to know how to do this specific one, I will do a course on that one as well. I'm pretty sure I will anyway, but just for covering in basic fabric, I already have a good one for that. That's the firefighter one I did a while back. I'll try and remember to drop it in the description box below. If not, and you are looking for it, leave a comment and I will get back to you with the link, and it will also kind of remind you to throw it in the description box. So for some of you that know, so I just made this journal and I was going to list it. I'll come back to what I was going to say in a minute. But my mom found out that one of the girls in our sewing class is moving. So we were very sad. She's been in her home for a very long time, very long time, and I think she was very young in that home as well. I think she may have like gotten married with her first and only husband and had quite a few kids, and it's a pecan farm. So she asked me to commission a journal. I said, well, how about that one I just finished? And she was in love with the idea. So this one is going to have a wonderful home. I love how chunky it is. It's got 1 3/4 inch spine. It is 7 inches tall and 3 3/4 inches wide. So I really am loving this size. It's perfect. So I cut 10 more to the same specifications. I'm going to try and cover with this same fabric again, but I do not have any more of this lace. That was a one-time deal, guys. Sorry. So if any of you are hoping, I'm going to be putting something else along this edge. I love this button. I think I got it at Joann's, so I'll go and try and pick up another one because I completely love it. The inside, I do have the same on the front and the back. I have that same paper, and all of these little ephemera pieces. Some of them were sent to me, so I'm not going to be able to make duplicates, but some of them were print-offs. If you guys like this beauty and this beauty, so any of these ephemera pieces, if you guys go over to my Pinterest, at Little Miss Daisy, or I think you can find it also under Len Churchwell, and you can find a bunch of ephemera, free printables that I've been saving ever since I started learning about this whole junk journal world. So there is quite a bit in there. So I'm gonna get into this little tutorial while I tell you a little story. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3 pieces of cardboard, all cut to the same exact size. I was very precise on my measurements, so it looks very perfect when they're all lined up together. So as some of you know, on my Facebook, I recently hit a big pothole on Monday, and that's why I haven't put anything out too much this week, because I've been fighting with the shop to get my car done and get it back. Well, they finally called, and I'm gonna go down tomorrow and pick up my car and return the rental. So I've been driving around this really fancy Ford Fusion Titanium Edition, and like it's one of those, you walk up to it and you like just touch the door handle and it unlocks for you, and that's like the traffic matching cruise control, so if people cut in front of you, it'll slow down for you. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little spoiled this week with driving, but I do have to say I miss Amara, I miss my little Miata, and I would be very excited to have her back tomorrow. So with this cardboard, again, it is 3 3/4 inch across and 7 inches tall, and we're going to get to work on these. Now, you could probably glue them all together first and then whack them with your crocodile. I got the one with the curved corner. I love this thing. I finally went down and picked one up. I have a little fish arcs one too, but that one, I mean, it just doesn't do justice on these at all. And even with paper, once you go through so many, it just starts to gunk up and not function properly anymore. So I kind of mix between this one and the other one when I'm working on paper. And when I'm working on, now remember, we're doing the top and the bottom, or the top and the bottom, just on one side. But I definitely really like this one as opposed to the fish arcs one. I mean, you can use scissors to round your corners, but it doesn't look as good. And you can glue all of these together and chomp it with the crocodile, and it does a really good job and chomps through all of it. I even have a really easy time chomping through my chipboard. But for those of you with weak hands, it does take 2 hands. So if you don't have very strong hands, then you're going to want to go for the thinner stuff and maybe have someone help you with chomping the thicker stuff. So you see how there's kind of a little imperfection in the board, but it's still good board. We're just going to go ahead and stick that in the middle of our 3 pieces when we glue them together. Look at that, even with the crocodile, they match up so perfectly. Also, if you have perforations, and I know I do on some of the soda box ones, if you have the perforations, I wouldn't really suggest using them, but if you do want to use them, reinforce them, stick them in the middle. I can't seem to, oh, here we go. So you see how it has the perforations right there? They'll come out great as long as you put them in the middle like this when you're gluing them, because if you don't put them in the middle, then they're not going to be as strong. And when, like, say you're writing on the cover or something, and then your pen might stab through your paper and hit one of these grooves or something and make it uneven. So it just kind of makes it look nicer if you just stick it in the middle and write smoother as well. So I'm going to glue one of these real quick and show it to you. And I use quite a bit of glue when I glue these. I want to make sure that they are nice and flat and secured together and they're not going to come apart. I do my edges first, that way it leaves no room for gaps. Then I just kind of do like a circling motion. I have this gnat that is like flying right in my eyes, and he's about to be myrtleized. The poor little fly will never see it coming. He flew away. He's like, I know what's coming. I'm terrible. I'm sorry. Flies are not friends to me. Unless they're outside, you know, doing what they're supposed to do and not in my house. So, alright, now that's good and covered. So you can either leave it like this and put your piece on, or like I like to do, I'll just run my finger over and smooth it all out really nicely. By the time you're done smoothing too, it makes it like the perfect tackiness for your other side. And don't go, you know, too slow. Don't be perfect with it. Just get your finger in there, get her done. Because if you wait too long, then it won't be a good tacky anymore, and then it'll be dry and you'll have to apply more glue, which is obviously a waste of glue. Okay, now we're just gonna shift it and line it up perfectly. Oh my, that that was pretty fast. Usually, depending on how thick my glue is, this bottle probably could use some nail polish remover to thin it a little bit. So I don't really have to put this one under anything. But if the glue is thinner, then you may want to set it under something really heavy as soon as you're done. Not like super heavy, but heavy enough. That way it just holds it down a little bit and gives it time to set. But we're just going to keep moving right along, and I'm going to glue the front on as well real quick. And we got a big bubble there, so we're going to stuff it right in the middle so we can get the edges just right. Because you don't want to have glue hanging over off to the sides. That looks terrible. And if you decide that you want to ink the sides of your journal, then having little sticky glue pieces sticking out, it doesn't look very nice. And on top of that too, once the glue dries, the ink won't stick to the glue. So you either have to go over it with like a pair of scissors or a razor or something to get it smoothed over, or trim it a little bit. That way you can stain it and it will actually stain properly. Alright, let's see. Actually, that went pretty fast. So if you guys can tell, I mean, this is a little bit of a faster process. I mean, it's not super fast, but you can have a journal cover in about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast you are. Here we go. Now we're just gonna push that down really good. Alrighty, look at that, guys. Maybe shift it into place a little bit. It's not lining up visually, like there's a little bit of a, and I'm a perfectionist, so I will line it up perfectly. If you're not a perfectionist and you're designing your own, then it's okay. And if you go over it like this and rub against it, and when the glue starts to get a little bit more dry, usually it'll come right off, as long as there's not too much. If there's a lot, then you're going to have to actually go in and trim it. Like right there, I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of sanding and trimming. So this one is ready for a cover. I mean, isn't that the most perfect size? Now, and I know some of this, oh my, I just made the biggest mess. Here comes Fluffy and Lexi. So I know that there are hardly any tutorials, if any, on YouTube for these. We are going to do a upcycled curved spine. This is my own design. I've never really seen anyone do it before. So, and I kind of figured it out. When I was using Nick the Booksmith's design, I kind of figured this one out on my own. But you can't use this with the heavy duty chipboard. This is only a layering process. So keep that in mind. If you don't have layers, you're not going to be able to do this one. Another one that I know uses a wet technique with PVC pipe. I follow her on Instagram, and I also follow her on YouTube. I feel like that takes a little too much. I want something that I want to be able to whip out pretty fast, you know? Especially if, you know, my mom calls me up like she did today, and she's like, I need a journal really fast. Then, you know, I got to get one made for her. So what I'm doing is I am, and this is kind of like the only way to really show you guys. Now, this isn't going to do it because it's just like kind of like plastic and I don't want to break it. But you're going to take your piece and you're going to set it on the edge of a hard surface, like your kitchen table or your kitchen counter. I would prefer your kitchen counter or your table or your hard surface be a straight, solid 90-degree drop. If it's a curved one, it's not going to work as well. And what you're going to do is when you press down, you're going to curve it down with your hand, and you're going to like use your hand to manipulate it. So your hand is going to curve like this and curve it at the same time. So And I'm going to be doing it right here on the end of my desk. And just kind of push with the weight of your body, your upper body, against your surface, and drag it down with the palms of your hands while you're pushing. And you see how it curves that really nice? Now you just keep doing that, pushing like this and curving it until you get the desired shape. Oops, I'm losing pieces here. So you're just going to push like this. And the more that you push, you're going to push with your weight towards the corner and pull down at the same time. And use the ball of your hand to curve, really get a good curve going on in your cardboard. I'm hoping that's visual enough for you guys to kind of understand how to do it. I love this desk, but it's, right, oh yeah, that's perfect. That's a 90-degree job on the back side of the desk. So the front side of my desk is curved, so it doesn't work as great. There we go. So I'm just pushing, and you can push away from you, you can push towards your feet. Either way is fine. And look at that wonderful curve. And I actually discovered that making the curved pieces from Nick the Booksmith Spine, and hers like is done quite a bit differently. But I was finding it easier to do her style if I curved my pieces before I put it all together, and it worked amazingly better. So I hope that really works for you. And of course you got to curve all of them, and when you get them all to about the right curved size, you just slap them together and you glue them down just like we did with the cover. I mean, how easy is that? And I'm hoping it's not getting too late because I have to go to work at 7. And it was 5:15 when I started filming. I'm terrible lately. I haven't had a chance to get too much filming done. And when I do, it's like always right on the dot. Oh yeah. Now, remember, for some of you, this may not be an easier way because you do have to put a little bit of force into it. You got to put your body weight into it. And you can, this one, like, you have to use thin pieces. So recycled cardboard is probably the best way to do it. And usually mine wouldn't be like all dented like this. I would take a little bit more time and fine tune it really well. But I'm kind of trying to get in a demonstration for you guys so you can see. There we go. It's starting to look the way I want it to. Alrighty. And then you can also go on with your thumb and your fingers and manipulate some of the edges that you want to curve just a little bit more. And then you can also sit like this and get it to add a bit more curve too once you get the curve started. I usually like the edge of the desk. If it's in front of me too, it's a lot easier to work with. I'll usually sit at a computer desk and do these. Alrighty. Now look at that. We have a curved spine. Now you glue those together and they are not going anywhere. They are going to stay curved. Pretty awesome, huh? Now, I'm not going to glue these together just yet. I want to curve them a little bit more. Actually, you know what? Yeah, no, they're just right. Perfect. Yeah, Never mind. So we're going to take the smoother one and we're going to put it on the bottom, and we're going to put like the little bit more ruggedy one in the middle. And again, we're going to do the same thing we did with the cover. We're going to align and then just do a bunch of whoop-dees here. Whee! See, so the manipulating and molding, oh, sorry about that if I made it bounce, takes a little bit, but once you get to gluing it together, I mean, it goes pretty fast. Woohoo! It's like winding up. Oh, zipper right there. Got stuck in the water slide. Okay, now you just line it up and press it into place. Oh my. Now, of course, you gotta clean up excess glue off the edges so you don't have to worry about it later. I mean, technically this is going to be hidden. There we go. Yes. And be sure and press it in real good. You know, you don't want any air bubbles. At least I personally don't, going on in the middle. And of course, you curve your third one. I wouldn't leave it at 2. I would put a third one down just to make sure it's nice and thick, nice and reinforced. And my trash can is not here at the moment. So now you have a cover and you have a spine. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my, I hope you guys loved that tutorial. I'm sure you did. I know if you're like me, you've been looking for a curved spine tutorial forever. And even better, you can use upcycled cardboard to do it. So save your cereal boxes, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, it's going to be extra thick and wonderful. So in love. So if you guys love this journal, please drop a comment and I will make another one to list in my Etsy. I have 10 over here waiting to be put together, but I can't start on them just yet because, no joke, I have 50 gajillion other journals in the other room that just need finished. Like, some of them I have to sew around the edges and others I just have to stitch together. So, and I brought this text block back from my mom's. It goes into a book tonight. I also brought this text block back from my mom. It will be going into a book tonight, so these two will be up on Etsy soon. Also, I will be doing a vintage sewing machine one. I told you guys a while back, and some of you may remember some photos on Instagram. They're finished on the sewing machine. That's what Mom was doing the other night, and I went down today and picked them up after working my patootie off in the nursery. It was a dirty one today. I was moving 1-gallon pots, cutting out roots, shifting dirt, moving the 15-gallon fruit trees to restock the primary trees up front. So after all that, I had to run home real quick, shower, and film for you lovelies before work. So I will be doing a vintage sewing one, and it will consist of a block of these. I have 10 blocks of these ready to go, or almost ready to go for sewing ones. I won't release them all at once. I'll do them one at a time. I also have some spring editions here, revving and roaring and ready to go. And I also, I was going to put one of these into that book that we did last week on Friday. So keep your eye out for that one as well. I hope this was very informative. Trust me, if you think this is a lot, I got about 3 or 4 more sets out in the living room right now that I'm currently working on. I have 5 miniature triangles, 4 full-size, well, 2 full-size triangles, 2 giganto triangles. They're like the same as the full-size, but they're fatter. Like, one of them has 9 signatures. So I have a feeling that I'm going to be designing and filling that one up with you guys, and then I may auction it off on eBay when it is finished. So I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I hope you all love all the goodies on the table and are finishing up whatever it is you are working on now. My blonde butt forgot to hook up my audio, so I probably sound really quiet in this video. I hope I do not, but if I do, I am very, very sorry. I clipped it to my shirt and apparently I forgot to plug it in. So I'm feeling a little blonde right now. Sorry about that. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope I remember to hook up my audio next time, because if not, then I guess I'm doing a voiceover. Alrighty, I will talk to you guys later. Bye!